Alright, before we start Mega Man, I'd just like to say, look at the Sonic & Tails vid, 35 views, only 2 likes. Fuck off with that shit, okay? You are going to not only like this video and share it with all of your friends and family, also, you are going to do the exact same with all of my other videos, or else literally nothing will happen. I have no reason to threaten you and no way to do so. Anyway, now to Mega Man. We all know Mega Man, and you've read the title. This video is about whether the first Mega Man game is ass, or if it's the shit. Yes, that's a pun. So I got this through the collection on Steam, and I wanted my first experience with Mega Man to be a bit more raw. I didn't want to immediately follow a guide, although I did start doing it pretty much immediately after the first stage. So I started the game off with Cutman, which I later found out wasn't the best choice, but also through my own experience I did kind of find out it was. It's complicated. I'll explain that in a minute. But first I'd like to actually talk about the stage that Cutman is in. I actually like the platforming. It was a bit rough in the start for me, but other than that it was actually really fun, and definitely it set a precedent for the future experience I'd have with the game later on. And honestly, I was pretty surprised because I'd heard many a legend about how Mega Man is this hard, grueling series, and I'm sure that Mega Man 2, for example, will be a bit harder than Mega Man 1, but overall I had a lot of fun with this first stage, and it really made me excited to continue, to the point where I actually beat this game in 2 days, and then took a month to sit down and record this audio for the video. But we don't talk about that. But now actually to the Cutman boss. Actually I had a lot of fun with this boss. It was really interesting to see how the game would handle bosses in the future, although my experience later on in the game was definitely very, very different from this first interaction. Then after this, though, I actually decided to go to the next stage with the proper gear, and so I went to the Electric Man stage. It was at this point I actually started to play around with the Cutman tool, and I had a ton of fun with it. Although later on in the game, I would refrain from using those tools until the stage after I needed them for the boss, because it made the later bosses a lot harder when I didn't have any ammo left. All in all, the stage and the boss were really fun. It was really interesting to actually be able to knock out the boss like immediately using the tools, which got me really excited for later bosses, knowing I could just basically kill them instantly. The next stage, Iceman, was a bit annoying due to the ice physics, but other than that, I really enjoyed the stage. Although platforming in each stage seemed to be very different from the others, although they did kind of build on each other if you went in the proper order. And then the Iceman boss wasn't terribly hard. None of them were actually really hard until a certain boss that I'll talk about when we get to him. But I kept having fun. I beat Fireman pretty easily, although the bosses seemed to have varying levels of health, which was kind of concerning, because I knew that the final boss would probably be very hard in comparison to these guys, but it was pretty easy. Fireman stage, also pretty fun. Again, it keeps building upon the last stage over and over and over, which I think all great games should do. I really think that they should build upon each other every level, even in a game like Mega Man where the levels aren't normally ordered in a specific way. Bomb Man was pretty damn annoying, but other than a few tries, it wasn't really terribly difficult, and I don't exactly think it was terribly designed. Although, Bomb being beaten by fire isn't very intuitive compared to a lot of the other ones. The stage for Bomb Man was also pretty okay, but not the most enjoyable of the ones I've tried, although the next stage wasn't exactly the greatest either, which leads into the Gutsman stage. It was an absolutely murderously difficult, but I wouldn't play this or Bomb Man's again. But then there's the boss, Gutsman himself. I don't really like the Gutsman boss. In fact, I'd say I hate it with a burning deadly passion. And that's enough about Gutsman for now. In fact, one might even say forever, at least the rest of this video. Though I will expand on my thoughts a little, with it being this specific attack that I hate deeply, truly, and terribly. From there though, and with a little bit of backtracking, all I had left to do was the Wily stage, which involved me redoing all of the other bosses, including Gutsman. I hate Gutsman. What is Gutsman? It's such unintuitive game design, and I hate Gutsman deeply and truly. Anyway though, the final boss was really, really hard, but other than that, I'd say that it was pretty well designed. I mean, it definitely involved me using all of my abilities, which I actually want to touch on really quick, and by that I mean for a substantial part of the video. For me, a lot of the fun in the later game was seeing the different ways I could use all of my abilities in spectacular fashion, seeing all the different enemies that I could take down now that I had mastered all of my powers, and that I didn't really need any of them for any specific purpose. I definitely find that that's a real high point of this game, that you can really feel like Mega Man and that you're using your powers. In fact, this fight here was my absolute favorite because it involved me using all of my abilities and all of the knowledge I knew about all those abilities from using those abilities to beat those abilities. It was actually really cool to try and figure out how to beat this boss. I'll just let you watch my perspective of beating the boss right here, though it doesn't have any audio. Regardless though, that's just where I feel a lot of the fun in this game comes from, and I definitely say yes. To answer the question from the title, it's not shit. The game still holds up pretty well. Although I've heard that this game isn't the greatest compared to a lot of others, namely Mega Man 2, etc. But I definitely had a lot of fun with it, and I'll be having fun making those videos in the future. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I recommend you like, subscribe, share, all the stuff I yelled at you angrily to do at the beginning, except I'm saying it nice and softly now. But in all seriousness, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did like it, feel free to like, share with your friends, feel free to comment, etc, etc, etc. If you do like this, watch another one of my videos if you don't immediately want to subscribe, and yeah, see you later.